Welcome to my channel EcoTutor. Good morning students. Today's topic is central bank and its functions. As these slides are prepared by Dr. Satya Prakash. So let's understand the meaning of central bank. Central bank is an apex institution in the banking and financial structure of the economy. It is the leader of money market and hence plays a leading role in controlling, regulating, supervising, and developing the banking and financial structure of the economy. It is called the central bank because it occupies a central place in the monetary and banking structure of the country. Almost all the countries in the world have their central banks. It is called by different names in different countries. It is known as the Bank of England in England, the Federal Reserve System in the USA, the Bank of France in France, and the Reserve Bank of India in India. The Bank of England was the first to function as a central bank in 1844. Now come to the functions of the central bank. The central banks has the following functions. Number one, issue of currency. By issue of currency we mean the central bank enjoy the sole monopoly of issuing currency in order to secure control over volume of currency and credit. This is called the currency authority function of the central bank. Till the beginning of the 20th century, such a bank was known as the Bank of Issue. These notes circulate throughout the country as legal tender money. Like any other central bank, the RBI has the sole right to issue currency notes. Second function is banker to the government. Central bank everywhere in the world acts as a banker, agent and advisor to its respective government. As banker to both central and state governments, it performs the following functions. Number one, it manages accounts of the government. Second, it accepts receipts and makes payment on behalf of the government. Third one, it also advances short-term loans to the government for temporary period. As an agent to the government, central bank performs the following functions. It manages the public debt. Secondly, it buys and sells government securities, treasury bills on behalf of the government. Third function, Under the banker to the government, that is advisory function. An advisor, the central bank also acts as the financial advisor to the government. It gives advice to the government on the financial and economic matters such as deficit financing, devaluation of currency, trade policy, foreign exchange policy, etc. Third function of the central bank is banker to the banks and supervisor. As a banker to the banks, it means the central bank has the same relation with commercial banks as the commercial banks has with the general public. As the banker's bank, the central bank performs several functions. Commercial banks are required to keep a part of their net total deposits with the central bank as cash reserves. Central bank thus acts as a custodian of cash reserve of banks. Central bank also gives them loan in times of financial crisis. Supervisor, the central bank supervises the functioning of the commercial banks. It makes rules regarding licensing, management, branch expansion, liquidation, etc. It also undertakes periodic inspection of the banks. The fourth function is lender of last resort. Central bank acts as the lender of last resort. It is a commercial bank faced with the financial crisis. The only institution that can finally come to its rescue is the central bank. Central bank overcome the problem of financial crisis of the commercial banks. However, the banks in the temporary need of funds are supposed to approach other sources first, like the call money market, and then only approach the central bank. Next function of the central bank is clearinghouse function. As the custodian of cash reserves of the commercial banks, the central bank acts as the clearinghouse for these banks. Since all banks have their accounts with the central bank can easily settle the claims of various banks against each other simply by book entries of transfers from and to their accounts. This method of settling accounts is called clearinghouse functions of the central bank. And the last function of the central bank is custodian of nations' foreign exchange reserves. Another important function of the central bank is that it is the custodian of foreign exchange reserves of the country. Central bank maintains foreign exchange reserves to promote international trade. It is also maintain stability of the exchange rate. For this purpose, it buys or sells foreign currencies in the market to minimize fluctuation in the foreign exchange rates. So these are the main functions of the central bank, that is issue of currency, bankers to the government, bankers to the banks and supervisor, lender of last resort, clearing house functions, custodian of nation's foreign reserves. So in our country, this central bank's function, the role is played by the Reserve Bank of India. And this Reserve Bank of India, which act as the central bank, control the supply of money and credit creation. Controlling of supply of money and credit creation in the economy is the important function of the central bank. There are two components of the supply of money: currency, number one currency, and another one is demand deposits. Currency is issued by the central bank and demand deposits are created by the commercial banks while lending money to the people. The central bank controls the lending power of the commercial banks. So this function is also very important. It controls the supply of money and credit creation, which is made by the commercial banks. This method, which are generally used by the central bank in this regard, are broadly grouped into quantitative and qualitative methods by its monetary policy. I hope you understood this lesson nicely. Thank you.